Hello, I'm Albert Vartanian, and welcome to Fast Money Football on the Parlay and Parlay Radio. Sarah, what a fantastic day of football in the Champions League yesterday. The betting wasn't too bad either, at least for one of us. Sara Poraria, she's my sidekick today, and she cashed in a pair of plus money picks. She called City to win by 3 or more, plus 245. They won 5-0, 4 goals in the first half against Sporting. And also Kylian Mbappe to score. He did the latest goals to beat Real Madrid in France. Sarah, good day for you, bad day for Real Madrid. Their performance is actually being heavily criticized. Some people calling it cowardly because of the lack of attack. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can say that. Overall, I was kind of expecting a better game from both teams. It was exciting at points, but the football just it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. I think though, you can criticize Real as much as you want, but at the end of the day, there's no away goals anymore. It doesn't really matter, and they're only down 1-0, and Real doesn't have a problem with scoring. So, we heard that Benzema was, maybe having an injury. We saw him start, but, potentially in 2 weeks time, he might be back to his, usual form. I don't think Real should be sweating it. I'm super happy PSG won, but I don't think this game means that much. Maybe if they put 2 or 3 on the board, different story, but 1-0, it's nothing.
Yeah, they're definitely still in this tie. Like you said, the away goal rule is a massive difference, that not being there anymore. And they're going to go back home, regroup, and they can definitely win this. I thought that Thibaut Courtois was fantastic. He really kept them in that game. The chances that Real did have were scoring chances. They just didn't finish them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Spain. But on to today's matches, starting with Liverpool, who are in Italy to face Inter Milan. Inter are currently plus 250. Liverpool's favored at around even money. You could probably get that around plus 105, plus 110. The line is changing at the moment. By the way, Inter, I just realized this. They haven't been in the knockout since 2011, 2012. It's like a decade. And that's when they got the boot from Marseille on away goals. And like I mentioned, no more away goals, which could be big for these home teams. Home teams don't have to be so conservative because they don't have to worry about that crucial away goal. And especially a game like this where you have Inter taking on one of the best teams in the world. They can go out and use the San Siro to their advantage, use that home crowd. And they've been playing well. They're right in the hunt for the Serie A title. They have some goal scorers, and Dzeko is playing very well. Alexis Sanchez seems to be getting back into form. How do you think this match plays out?
Again, it's a tough one to call. Inter has been looking really good. I think it's going to depend on who starts. When Alexis starts lately, they've been doing a lot better. I really hope to see him start because I'm so happy with the form he's in. He's so fun to watch, and his goals have been incredible. Like, we're talking golazos, so I think that could play a big part. I think, though, Liverpool has also just been unreal, even with all the boys who went to AFCON. You had players like Diogo Jota, who's just doing bits for them and holding it together. So I think my bet's going to be, I think I'm still going to take Liverpool, but I'm going to take Diogo Jota to score because I know we're probably going to see Mohamed Salah, but I don't know what it is about this guy. He's just been unreal and he keeps scoring. And I hope Inter holds their ground. I'd love to see a tie or even an Inter win because going back to Anfield, it's hard to bet against Liverpool, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they're as good as Liverpool right now. They're good, but not that good.
It's difficult to pick a winner here, but getting Liverpool at plus money is rare. You'll rarely get that, especially in the Premier League. In the Champions League, there's not many teams that are better than Liverpool. But if you look at Inter's home form, not bad. The best home form in the Serie A, 9 wins out of 12. On the flip side, Liverpool, 9 wins in their last 12 Champions League matches on the road. I like Liverpool as well, but I think I'm going to stay away from the winner's market because I do have a feeling this can end in a draw, but I don't want to back that. I'm going to back Liverpool to score some goals, though. Over 1.5, so they need 2 goals anytime. They don't have to win by 2 goals. They just need to score 2 goals, and they scored at least twice in all Champions League matches away so far, and that's around plus money. So that's my bet. But gun to my head, probably Liverpool, right, Sarah?
Yeah, 100%, I think.
All right, let's look at the odds for the other match on the schedule. It's Bayern Munich, big favorites at minus 330 away to Salzburg, who come in currently at 7-1. Bayern upset by Bochum at the weekend, 4-2. This is the team that Bayern beat 7-0. So my question for you is, how do you think that result will affect Bayern heading into this match, if at all?
Yeah, I don't see it affecting them that much. I mean, to be honest, they're so ahead in the Bundesliga that, a loss or even three isn't going to affect them. They're winning that league for sure, as they usually do. So, I think it was more the fact that they were preparing for the Champions League. And like this is what they want. And I don't think it's really going to affect them at all, honestly. Like this is another team where they're similar to City in the fact that their bench is fantastic and they have a lot of depth. So I'm not really worried. Salzburg is a great team. They're top of the table for them in Austria as well. But it's the same thing with these, like top five leagues when you go into like those lower level leagues. It's not that the other team is bad. It's just Bayern's better.
Yeah, Bayern have shown a little bit of vulnerability recently. They've conceded 3 in their last 4, and now no Neuer. He's out. He's having knee surgery. I think he's gone for like 3 to 4 weeks. And midfielder Leon Goretzka, who's been their holding midfielder for such a long time, such an important player. So the spine has taken a hit. The spine of Bayern Munich's starting 11. The concern for Salzburg coming from the Austrian Bundesliga, lack of games. So the Austrian Bundesliga went on a 2-month break. Salzburg hasn't played since mid-December. That's a big issue because when it comes to fitness and sharpness, it may not be there. But a result here is so important. Like I keep mentioning the away goal rule not being there anymore. You have to take advantage of being at home. You're not going to go to Munich down 2 or 3 goals and come away with a victory and win this time moving into the next round. So I think it's going to be so important for them to come at Bayern. So I expect goals here. Yeah. But at the same time, it's Bayern Munich.
I know. But you're right, with Neuer being out, it could leave the back a little bit more vulnerable than they're used to being, because even with him, right, they've still conceded. So I think you have a good, if your bet is both teams to score, I think that's going to be mine for sure as well. I expect to see goals, but I also still think Bayern's going to come out on top.
Yeah, I love the over 2.5 goals, but that's like almost minus 200. So I'm going 3.5. I think it's going to be goals from both sides. Both teams to score is fantastic. I mean, if you pair that up, both teams to score with over 3.5, there's probably good odds. Both teams to score plus over 2.5, probably get even money, but over 3.5 for me, minus 120, I think is the bet. I think another thing to look at is Robin Lewandowski. When he scores, Bayern win. When he plays in the Champions League, Bayern usually wins. How important is he to this team to not only win this matchup and get through this tie, but to progress to the final?
Yeah, of course. He's arguably like the most important player on that team, maybe aside from Neuer. He's one of the best players in the world right now. He's so consistent, which I think, people overlook a lot of the time when they're thinking about football players. He's always there. He's always in good form. He's never injured, and he's always scoring goals. Like you can bet that when you see Lewandowski on the pitch, that he's going to score that game, and that's a rare talent that even good footballers, you can't say that about a lot of people. So I think he's a key player, and I expect to see him on the scoreboard later today.
So we've already seen a couple of favorites play in the Champions League so far: PSG, Manchester City, who dominated Sporting. Now we're going to get to see 2 more in Liverpool and Bayern Munich. Obviously, we haven't seen the latter play so far, but based on what you saw yesterday from PSG and Manchester City, I feel like those 2 teams are the leading dogs with Man City right at the top. Do you think that 5-0 against Sporting was just kind of putting Europe on notice? Hey, we're here and we're ready to take on the rest of the team?
I guess you could take it like that. I think we already thought that about City. Like for me, City's been the team that's been the best in Europe right now. And I think we spoke about this yesterday, saying, like there could be an injury that like something happens, you don't know what's going to happen in 2 months. But right now, City's always been number one. And honestly, I don't think PSG is up there for me at all, actually, as much as I say that. Yeah, no way. This team is super inconsistent. They are, they're not scoring goals with that lineup is insane. How many last minute goals do we see from them? And it's very reliant on Kylian Mbappe. So, Messi's been scoring in the UCL, but he hasn't been scoring in, the league. And so I don't know. And like I said, the midfield yesterday, I didn't see Verratti passing to Messi at all. They're not playing Messi and they're not playing how he should be playing. Like his positioning is kind of off. And they're not feeding him properly. It's really weird. Like I could tell yesterday there were times when Messi had the ball and he looked around. He was like, there's no one here. So I think they're still transitioning with that. But no, I would say City, Liverpool, and Bayern are my top 3. I don't think PSG. And then Real Madrid and maybe then PSG.
You know what's crazy, Sarah? When it comes to injuries, that doesn't seem to affect Manchester City. We've
Mm.
seen Kevin De Bruyne out for a long period of time. We've seen Jack Grealish out. I know he hasn't been the best player for Manchester City, but he's been out for a long period of time. Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden had a spell on the sidelines. Then you had, Ruben Diaz had a spell on the sidelines. It doesn't seem to matter the depth there. I mean, depth is one thing, but I think this goes back to just Pep Guardiola and his coaching, his style of play, where when one man goes down, it's next man up, and they fall right into that starting 11. And I just don't think any other team in the world has that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. They like for me, if they don't win the Champions League, it would be a shame almost because I think when you see a team and they've just been doing it all season and you're like they deserve it. You can hate on City all you want. Like, yeah, it's frustrating. They have so much money. They have so many players, but hey, they're playing the best football right now, and they deserve it with the way they're playing and the form they're in. For sure, number one.
And one thing to mention, money isn't the be all end all because, like you mentioned, look at PSG, all the money in the world, bought all the players in the world, some of the best players in the world, and it's just not clicking at the moment. But we'll see as the Champions League go on. I want to throw in this one bet. It's not an official pick, but something to keep your eye on. Edin Dzeko to score against Liverpool. He's played them twice. He's scored twice, and he's got 3, I think, in his last 4 games. He looks really good for Inter Milan. And if Inter attack, I think he's going to be the one who's going to score goals. So keep an eye on that. Plus 240, Edin Dzeko, anytime goal scorer. That's it for us. She's Sara Poraria. You can follow her at Sara Poraria on Twitter. You can follow me at The Real Bert V on Twitter as well. And don't forget, you got to follow The Parlay too at The Parlay. And for more Parlay content, please head over to parlay.tv. Good luck today, guys.